welcome back to Japan, where we're going to be checking out a little bit more of ELFRIEDE, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So anyway, yes, this is a band who I really like. I really enjoyed the first two songs I've heard, and so I decided to do a reaction and review to another song, keeping on going with that journey. As you're probably aware of, if you know our now format that we have to have since we restarted the channel, if you want to see the reaction, I actually just filmed it. Click the link in the description below and it'll open a separate player where you can watch that. And I'm about to give you the review now, so if you haven't already seen the reaction, pause this video. See the reaction? Ready for the review? Alright, here we go. So basically, this was a song that delivered in a lot of ways. It was, I will confess, obviously it was your sort of simple pop rock song in many aspects, but there were a lot of nice little touches to it. I like the way that it built up. This is a thing that often we discuss with these sorts of songs, is does the song build up in a way that it really feels like it's going somewhere? Does it feel like it's going in the right direction? This started out with a good sort of, good kick to begin with. And then, the pre-chorus was really loud, lots of distorted guitars. And then for the chorus, it does that wonderful, the Japanese key change where you go up a few semitones into the chorus. And they did that nicely and then added some strings as well, just to add to the impact. So it did feel like it was always going in a direction, which I really liked about this. The key change chorus at first felt a little bit uneasy, but the more after hearing it a couple more times, it certainly felt like it belonged there. It certainly felt like it made more sense after you'd reheard it. So I think that's a chorus that will become more and more rewarding with time, the more times you hear it. Definitely quite catchy in its own right as well, which I quite liked. On top of that, you had the fact that the strings carried on for a lot of the rest of the song as well, and certainly in the bridge had nice little elements. You had the strings, you had some picked guitar, and then underneath that you had a real sort of rumbling kick drum on every beat with the bass line. So the bridge was a nice change of tone. There was a lot of changes of tone in here which were quite light, quite easy going, but actually it helped to keep the song sounding fresh. It never felt like it got stuck in a rut. It never sounded like it was just doing one thing. It felt like it was certainly taking on a little journey. The emotional content seemed to be there as well. It had that quality that I often attribute to Silent Siren, and I've had people say before that they feel a similarity between these two bands. But it had that quality that I often say of Silent Siren, in that it felt accessible. It felt like it's something that anyone could listen to quite easy, and yet you can quite definitely get the emotional feel from it as well. It's something where it's an easy access way of sort of picking up a song that has an emotion, has the message, but isn't overbearing. It's welcoming to a casual listener as well as someone who might be more of a fan. Or someone who just wants maybe an easygoing track for the day and isn't really too bothered about what the feeling of the song is at all. It could play to different types of people is what I mean, because it's quite accessible. And like I said, it's a quality I often attribute to Silent Siren, and I think it's one that these guys definitely do have as well. It's a similarity that I can definitely see. The whole tone of the song therefore worked for me. It was something that, we've heard this kind of thing before, but it really, really worked. And it had just a wonderful number of my sort of favourite, maybe quite tropey, but favourite songwriting techniques in there. You had the, like I say, what I think is now my number one most noticed and most popular a technique, which is the idea that the last chorus can never just come in as the last chorus. It always has to come in as either broken down and then build up, or just with the first few notes being slightly skipped. There always has to be something where the last chorus never just comes straight in as a chorus. And so, this had that. It had the key change choruses as well, where the choruses are a few semitones above the rest of the song. Again, it did that. And then it had another writing technique, which is slightly less tropey to the Japanese scene, but it's one that I really like when they do this, especially in pop rock songs. It's a very effective technique for pop rock songs, which is that when you get the last chorus, you do it twice over, usually. But when you go into the second repetition of the chorus, you slow down the beat to half time or even quarter time. And that suddenly then brings the actual melody, the whole feeling of the chorus, the whole structure, the whole writing of the chorus into fresh focus just before those last few bars where you blast it out with full energy. And that's a technique I really like, and it especially works well in pop rock songs. More than I think in any other style, it works fantastically in pop rock songs, because usually they're quite fast, which means fast beat, which means that slowing the beat down really does change the whole feel very significantly. And also because of the fact that pop rock songs are very, very melody heavy. So, restructuring what's underneath the melody is really, really, cool thing to do, because you can keep the actual what the song's doing. You know it's still the chorus, you know you're still doing that thing, but like I say, completely refreshed the way it looks at it. So I really love that they use that technique. I didn't see that coming, because you don't hear that quite as much in the Japanese pop rock songs as maybe actually in Western pop rock songs. So ironically, I never thought of it before, but that's a technique I really like that maybe you don't hear as much in Japan. But yeah, really worked well when they did that, and I thought it added a nice feeling. And that's one of the things, this song, like I say, again, I'm willing to accept anyone who says, oh, it's simple as a pop rock song, you know, take it on its simple values, and all credit. If you want to enjoy it in a simple way, that's fine. But from an analytical standpoint, I just think there's a lot of cool techniques in here. They knew that the chorus had to build up from a strong pre-chorus, so it went up a few keys. Whether that necessarily works as the best technique or not is completely up to the listener. Like I said, I think with repeated listens it becomes more and more natural, certainly even over just hearing it in the first listening of the song. You know, they did that. They kept the song with direction. They kept the verses fresh. They kept the emotion in there. They had a nice bridge that was simple but nicely broke down the song and then rebuilt it. And they did play around with the last chorus to give it a nice extra emotional impact when it was played through. So yeah, there was just a lot of things about this that were simple but very effective. And on top of that, I have to say, massive love for the orange jumper. Just I liked how all of the members in the band here, they looked like they had gone through. I mean, I don't know clothes shops well enough to name a particular brand and make a good joke out of it, but they looked like they had been through like a very specific clothes shop, because they all had a very specific sort of I'm going to say 15 years ago kind of hip going on with the denim jackets and everything. But then just one member wearing this giant orange jumper. I love it. Bizarre, love it. The message of the video as well seemed to be really sweet. It seemed to be, from what I could tell, again, I can't pick up lyrics on the fly. I'm not quick enough with my Japanese. I can pick up some words, but I can't guarantee that's going to give me the actual meaning of the song accurately. The feel of the video really did seem to match the feel of the song, and it did seem to have this message about, you know, maybe judging that with the title as well, maybe, you know, feeling sort of brokenhearted, and then sort of recapturing an element of innocence, you know, regaining perspective. I don't know whether the character she was looking at was supposed to be a vision of her younger self. I was thinking at the time, I kind of almost hope not, because I just imagine if I saw my younger self, I think that would just make me more angry. I was a very irritating person at that age, and probably still am. So yeah, I was kind of thinking, I don't know whether necessarily being visited by your younger self would make you any happier. But I did like the idea, though, of sort of the comparison of, you know, going through, you know, I guess you could say first world problems, but having heartbreak and having things that make you feel down, and then seeing it from a fresh, younger perspective is nice. I hope that does translate into the lyrics as well. Maybe I'll go back and check that. So overall, it just, yeah, it worked. It had a nice feel. It had good little techniques that kept it sounding fresh and stopped it getting too bland and repetitive. It had good direction, so you always felt like the song was going somewhere. It didn't outstay its welcome. It was a good length. It had some good musicianship in there, but the musicianship was to carry the song rather than to be showy. I really like this. Like I said, I know it's not going to change the world. No, it's not going to be like something that stands out as being totally different from everything we've ever heard before. But it really makes me feel like this is a band who I want to keep on, continue listening to, hopefully more quite soon. So as always, in the comments, get in there. Tell me what you think. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you know the band or do you not know the band? Either way, we really want to know what you think. Remember to subscribe and like if you don't mind. You can dislike as well if you want to, but if you dislike, you definitely have to get in the comments and tell us why, because that's how the conversation will start. Otherwise, we don't know what you disliked. And on top of that as well, remember that the links in the description below also include our Discord, where all of us are in there talking about music all the time from Japan, so definitely do get involved in that. And our Reddit, which is a great place for one, we've got some really cool threads on there as well, but you can also suggest new songs for me to listen to, as well as there's links for my Facebook, Twitter, and for the Patreon. Big thank you, Patreon supporters. As always, you guys keep this ship afloat. So anyway, for now, from Japan, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for making it to the end of the video, and until I see you hopefully very soon, for now, ciao ciao.